Where was God when his own son was nailed to a cross? When the skies turned black, the earth shook, and Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Was heaven silent? Or was something far deeper unfolding than human eyes could see? Picture the scene: Jerusalem, the day of Passover. Crowds gathered, soldiers jeering, priests triumphant. Jesus of Nazareth, who had healed the sick, raised the dead, and calmed storms with a word, now hung powerless on a wooden cross. The air was thick with tension. For 3 hours, darkness covered the land. No sun, no light, no explanation. To the people standing there, it must have felt like the universe itself was grieving or rebelling. Then came the cry, a raw, heart-piercing cry that shattered the silence. "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? My God, why have you forsaken me?" It was the most haunting question in human history. And perhaps it is still yours today. Where was God when Jesus died? Where is God when suffering swallows us whole? At first glance, it seems like abandonment. The Father turning his face away. The heavens cold, distant, silent. But was that really what happened? Or was God closer than anyone could have imagined? To understand the cross, you must step into the eternal story. Before time began, before the stars lit up the night sky, God had already written the script of redemption. Jesus was described in Revelation as the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. This moment, the death of Jesus, was not a divine accident. It was the center of God's plan. Yet it carried a cost beyond our comprehension. Here lies the paradox. Jesus was fully God and fully man. On the cross, he bore the full weight of humanity's sin. Every lie, every betrayal, every crime, every secret shame, pressed upon him like crushing stones. And as he became sin for us, the holiness of the Father responded with judgment. This is why Jesus felt forsaken. It wasn't that the Father had abandoned him in cruelty. It was that he was standing in our place, absorbing what we deserved. The silence of heaven was not absence. It was the weight of justice colliding with mercy. And yet, even here, the Father was present. Not watching from a distance, but orchestrating salvation through suffering. The Son was giving his life, but the Father was giving his heart. They were not separated in purpose, they were united in love. At Calvary, love and wrath met. Holiness and mercy embraced. And the world stood on holy ground, though most didn't realize it. Then the final moment came. With his last breath, Jesus cried out, "It is finished," and the earth shook violently. Rocks split open. The temple curtain tore from top to bottom. It was as if creation itself was bearing witness. The separation between God and man was over. So where was God? He was right there. In the darkness, he was veiling the suffering of his Son. In the tearing of the temple veil, he was opening the way for humanity to enter his presence. In the earthquake, he was shaking the foundations of sin and death. God was not absent at the cross. He was most present. His justice was being satisfied. His love was being demonstrated. His plan was being fulfilled. The mystery is this: what looked like defeat was actually victory. The silence of heaven was not abandonment. It was the deepest expression of love. The Father was not turning his back. He was reconciling the world to himself through the death of his Son. And 3 days later, the silence broke. The stone rolled away. Life triumphed over death. So the next time you ask, "Where is God when I'm hurting?" remember the cross. He is not distant. He is not blind to your tears. If he was present when his Son died, he is present when you walk through your darkest nights. The cross is proof that God enters our pain, carries our burden, and transforms suffering into redemption. Where was God when Jesus died? He was there, pouring out justice, fulfilling prophecy, and holding the greatest act of love history has ever known. Thank you for watching this deep journey into the heart of the cross. The silence of God was not absence. It was love speaking louder than words. But the story doesn't end here. If the Father was so present at the death of his Son, what about the resurrection? How did heaven respond when Jesus rose again? That's what we'll explore in our next video. What really happened the morning Jesus rose? Make sure you subscribe, share this with someone who needs hope, and let the message of the cross remind you. You are never truly alone.